guys, it's Lynie at the Pinkhouse, and here we are with Friendship Part 2. I know it's been a minute since we did Part 1, but it took a lot of time doing the research that I was doing, and I had a whole lot of things going on at one time. And so I was able to get back to this so that I could put the finishing touches on it, and we could delve in a little deeper to our segment on friendship and see what needs to be done sometime in relationships, because that's what friendships are. Friendships are relationships. And with any relationship, it requires work. Whether it's a friendship, a marriage, a student pupil, a boss employer employee, all relationships require work. And one of the most important key elements to any relationship is communication. Communication, it has been said, is the lifeblood to any relationship. And so we're just going to delve into this and get started and see what the rest of my research provided us with. So hopefully this will work, because this is like my third time trying to do this, and for some reason I'm not remembering some of the steps that I did to do the first one. So hopefully. So with that being said, guys, one of the things that we intersect in relationships sometimes is knowing when to let a friend go. That's not letting a friend go is never easy, but sometimes it may be necessary for your own well-being. If you have a friend that consistently brings negativity or harm into your life, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. But it's important to communicate your feelings and concerns with your friend before making any decisions. But ultimately, trust your instincts and do what's best for you. Surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people can lead to a happier and healthier life. But that being said, your friends are not going to be totally like-minded like you. You guys are not going to think the same. You guys are not going to have the same opinions on everything. That's not the purpose of a friend. But you want to be able to disagree, to have your own opinions, and it be in a supportive and respectful fashion, because it will ultimately benefit the friendship. And so that's not what we're saying, that you have to be robotic and like each other. No, you have to be individual, bring whatever you're bringing to the friendship to the table, but do it in a respectful, supportive fashion with positivity, because that will ultimately help benefit the friendship. Okay. This is what I'm saying. I am having difficulty getting to my next slide. It took me to that, but then it's not taking me to my next slide. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to start this over. Okay, now hopefully I got it figured out again. We'll see. So you also want to learn how to cope when friends disappoint, because we all disappoint each other. Not intentional, you know, always. Maybe at times it could be, but most of the time it's not intentional. So we have to learn how to cope with the disappointment of a friend. So dealing with disappointment from friends can be challenging. It's important to communicate your feelings with them and try to understand their perspective. If necessary, take some time away to process your emotions and focus on self-care. It's also okay to reassess friendships and to set healthy boundaries moving forward. Remember that it's normal for friendships to have ups and downs, but it's important to prioritize your own well-being. And I put here two little bullet points. One is a famous poem that so many people, I'm sure you've heard, and it's the one where it talks about friends for a season, and it's that poem that, sometimes a friend may come into your life, and it turns out that they were only there for that particular season for whatever was happening in your life to help you deal with that or what have you. So that's something that we hear a lot. And then the other thing was, there was a quote that I heard Michelle Obama say on an interview with her and Oprah, and she was talking about describing friends as a kitchen table, and I had that in the earlier segment as well, and that that's where they support you, because the kitchen table, you associate all the good home cooking with mom around the table, stories, family, love, warmth, and so your network of girlfriends, the women that hold you down, should represent your kitchen table. And so Oprah asked her, so did all of her friends continue to progress and move with her as she went on to, the things that they did. She became the first lady. Did she still have the same core friends? And she honestly said that everybody didn't make the cut. And the verbiage that she used, I just thought was so interesting, because she said not not everyone had enough oxygen to make the climb. So as she was climbing and what have you, there were some friends that were left behind. And it's funny because Oprah asked her again, so for those that were left behind, was it conversations that you had? Or she said some were conversations depending on the friendship and what the situation was. She said, and then some were where you just pull back, you stop answering the phone and that type of deal, and just slowly withdraw from the relationship. She said, but um, you have to recognize where you're going in your life, and then be able to understand and recognize, does this particular relationship or friendship I have, will it fit in where I'm at now? Because if you got friends that are very just whatever. She said some friends, just certain things would not have gelled well with where she was and with the spotlight that was on her now as being the first lady, which made sense. I could understand that. So sometimes you just have to recognize that maybe. I remember a dear friend of mine when I was a teenager. I think I was 14 and she might have been 18. She was like a few years older than me, but we met at a large convention. And for years we were pen pals, and because she lived in a different state, but we happened to come to the same convention, and we met going in, and struck up a relationship, and we cultivated a friendship. We became pen pals, like I said, for years. We talked on the phone, and then she moved closer um, to the state that I live in, and we got together. I mean, just very, very close friends. And then she got married, and once she married, it seemed like she no longer needed that relationship anymore. She pulled away from the relationship, and it was a dear friendship of mine. But you that's what happens in life. Sometimes different things, your life circumstance changes, and maybe you feel like you don't need as many girlfriends as you had prior to, I guess maybe some women, when they marry, may feel like they don't need as many girlfriends as they had prior to marrying, whatever the case may be. But, things happen in life that make us make changes, and sometimes some of those changes are to the relationships that we have. But so it does happen. And yeah, so that is something that I remember from that relationship. And so then there are certain things that happen that may cause you to reevaluate a relationship too. Because it could be when a friend continually makes you feel less than. You know, again, you want to go back to having positive, supportive people in your life. You don't want to put yourself in a circumstance where you will allow people to make you feel less than. And that goes for even if it's your friends that's doing it. Because a real friend wouldn't do that. That's the key. If you really are cultivating a relationship, a friendship with someone, hopefully your goal and desire is to have that person's best interest at heart. And you want to see the best for them, and hopefully they want to see the best for you. But if a friend continually makes you feel less than, that may be time to reevaluate the friendship and consider setting boundaries or distancing yourself. It's important to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. You never want to stay in any relationship. It's so common for us to think of relationships like if a man and a woman are in a relationship and he's being somewhat abusive, not necessarily physical, but just domineering or not supportive of her goals or what have you. We readily think in our mind, oh wow, she needs to back away from that, and not. But it's the same thing when it's relationships with our girlfriends. If it's not positive and supportive and upbuilding, if at the end of the day you walk away and you feel less than or not cared for, what have you, it may be time to reevaluate that relationship and make a decision. So what about if a friend is constantly jealous of your other friends? That sometimes causes um, strain in friendship relationships. Sometimes when you have more than one close friend or what have you. There may be different ones that tend to exude or show that they have some type of jealousy towards the other friends. And so it's important to communicate with your friend and express how their behavior is making you feel. Let them know that you value your friendship with them, but that jealousy is becoming a problem. Try to find a solution together, such as spending more one on one time or finding common interests to bond over. It's also important to ensure that you're not neglecting your other friendships. Balance is key in maintaining healthy relationships. And that's so true because I can remember through the course of my life having relationships, and I remember often saying, for me, because I have a lot of girlfriends that have they have their own share of other friends as well. I've never been one to really be jealous of the other relationships, because what I recognize is that what I bring to the relationship that I have with this particular individual is unique to her and I. So no other personality, no other person is gonna satisfy that uniqueness in that relationship. So they can't take it away, and they can't bring it. So I never wasted my time with energies like, oh, if I heard this girlfriend was hanging out with that, so be it. Let them have fun. When we connect and get together, then that's our opportunity to make memories, to have fun, to do it. And I've always been that way, because friendships have always been important to me. I've just always been like it. I've always been able to share me with the ladies that make up my sister circle. And so, so I've never really on my own experienced that to a point where it was causing damage or something to the relationship. But I've been in circumstances where I've felt other people feel that way, and it can put a burden on the relationship. It can really weigh you down because you're wasting so much time trying to reassure this person, and you're not really doing things that can help build a relationship, build memories, because you got to deal with so much of trying to reassure them that yes, you're their friend, and that can just be hard because it puts a strain on the relationship. So again, the information says you want to be honest about how you feel, express your feelings to your friend, and it says a balance. There should be a balance in the relationship, so that hopefully all parties involved walk away feeling um, valued. And then there is the moniker. Everybody knows it. It is a best friend exclusive. Is that really exclusive? And so the concept of a best friend, it really can be subjective, and it varies from person to person. Some people may have multiple best friends, while others may reserve that title for just one person. And again, to me, it goes back to, because the relationships are unique and individual to you and that person. This person, when you're with this person, is your best friend. But then when you're with the other person, for whatever that relationship is doing for you in that moment, it's the same thing. So I don't think it's a mutually exclusive title that only one person is considered your best friend. Some people feel that way, and that's okay. But there are many people that don't have that school of thought. You love your friends dearly, but um, it doesn't exclude the relationship you have with other friends, because in this moment, this person is like your best friend. And so, this has been, like I said, a very interesting piece, because at various times in our lives, we just may have to make that decision, and everything in life is not easy. Everything um, can be a quick decision overnight. And that's why I said, you think about it, you reassess, you reevaluate. And the thing of it is, here's the thing. If you're friends with anybody and you've had a relationship that's been a certain way for a long period of time, if it's different, you know the difference. They know the difference. They see it. You see it. Whether you have a long, drawn out conversation about it or not, and it could very well be that the differences are because of some of the things that we highlighted in the piece. You've grown apart. There may be some type of negativity that has been introduced into the relationship, and so you've put space in there, what have you. But the thing of it is, if the relationships are important to you, then it's important work to do to reassess, to reevaluate, and make whatever decisions that would benefit you. Because life is short, and even though it's short, it can be so difficult, so challenging. Uh, you know, every day you wake up, it's just we just bombarded with a whole lot of stuff, and so to have people that you can really count on, that you can trust, that have your back, that are there for you, if no more than for an encouraging word, to check on you to see how you are, that type of thing. It's priceless. It's nothing like it. If you really do have true friends, genuine friends, good friends, it's nothing like it, because they can really help you weather the storms of life. They can help you hold yourself down when you just really, life can send you bonkers sometimes. And, it's just so many things that come at us that are so challenging. External, internal, paying it all around, just all around us, that we have to face. And so to have a supportive network of friends that are there for you during those times, it makes life that much easier to cope with. It makes life wonderful. You get so much enjoyment from it, and it just makes for a better time. It just makes for a better time, and like I said, nobody, we're not cookie cutter out. We're individuals. We have our own experiences that cause us to act and be a certain way, to think a certain way, that may also impact relationships we have. Our past experiences may have a lot to do with how we deal with and process certain things. But, as we grow, as we age, hopefully we mature, and mature well, so that if difficulties do arise in relationships, that we can use tools like the PowerPoint, or just do some self-reflection, journal, or do what have you, to help you just look at it, think about it, see what changes you may need to make, or if you need to make any. You may not. Things may be going the way you want them to go, and so that's good too. But like I said, this was a labor of love for me, and I really appreciate all of those that responded and had comments in the first section. And so I'm very excited to get this up and out, so that you can see the other part or piece to friendship. It's not just the falling in love part, so to speak, of when you meet somebody and cultivate the relationship to become friends, and the sharing of yourselves. That's the beautiful side of it. But just like any relationship that requires work, there's also the other side, where now that you're in it, you got to now grow with it, mature with it. It's going to be tested, and you got to also not ask of someone else what you wouldn't be willing to do. See, that's a large part of it too. You know, I would never expect or ask someone to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do for them as well. And so, but again, in every relationship, we gotta be open, be honest, um, and speak up. Just say what's on your mind, and how it should be. And hopefully, this series will have enabled some people to have some open conversations. Hopefully, even if you don't, even with yourself, open, honest conversation with yourself about where you think your relationships are, and how you value them. And I will say that having siblings, my sister and I have brothers who, one of my brothers passed away. But I will say, as we have aged, we have become much more closer friends than we were when we were young. When you're young and you're finding your own identity and what have you, you gravitate into people outside and away from your siblings most of the time. sort of, unless you're a twin sometimes or whatever. But there are some siblings that even when they're young, they start out close and stay close. But for us, we sort of ventured out in our own paths or whatever. And as we've aged and stuff, and different things have happened in life and what have you, it's just drawn us closer together. So we are real, truly, truly, um, each other's close friend. And so I appreciate that, because I know that is definitely a relationship I can always count on. And so, again, I just want to say thank you for taking the opportunity to look at this and maybe benefit from it. Take something away from it. Whatever you can extract from it, to glean from it, to utilize, do it. Um, if it's just no more than saying, oh, something to think about. I never thought about it like that, or what have you. Or maybe say, maybe that's a shift that my relationship is going through. Um, and that's putting it in your mind that, oh, maybe this is what's happening, or what have you. But, you know, whatever. And you, if you feel like a change needs to be made, then make it. Otherwise, just keep it moving. It's just information to be shared. You'll see this wild hair too. It's growing leaps and bounds, and yeah, it's getting there. So wow. But anyway, I thank you again for stopping by the Pink House and seeing what we got going on. And tomorrow is Sunday, and so if you've been paying attention, I have been going into my treasure trove of jewelry, because I have a lot. I tell people I'm single, no kids, and so that's what I did. I bought jewelry. And so now I'm trying to share a lot of it with a lot of folks. So uh, tomorrow is our my Sunday sale. It starts at 5:30, and I will post out a link, so that if you're interested, you can come, or share with somebody. And there you have it. And so this is my segment for Friendship Part 2. And I hope everyone who sees this can really honestly say that they have one of those type of relationships that they call on, count on, and feel in the heart. Because friendship is a beautiful gift from our Creator, and it just enriches our lives. And so, till the next time, this is Lynie at the Pink House.